Hello, and welcome to the Global Love and Gratitude Water Meditation and Consciousness Experiment Series with the Water Peace Project. Together we are connecting through water for peace, a journey through water and your heart. Water holds the answers to all of our questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? And why are we here? Let's begin with a powerful clearing with the Ho'oponopono prayer. Please connect with your sincere heart and join in resonance by repeating 3 times after me. Water, I am sorry. Water, please forgive me. Water, I thank you. Water, I love you. Water, I am sorry. Water, please forgive me. Water, I thank you. Water, I love you. Water, I am sorry. Water, please forgive me. Water, I thank you. Water, I love you. We only have one Mother Water. Please connect with your sincere heart and direct your sincere love and gratitude to all water. For today's session, we will be reflecting on the words from Dr. Emoto's book, The Hidden Messages in Water. Chapter 4. The world will change in but a moment. Do you know where you can obtain really good water? Perhaps at the foot of the Swiss Alps, or maybe at the North or South Pole. It's not hard nowadays to find bottled water claiming to be the best in the world. But can good water really be purchased? Water is not simply about H2O. No matter how natural or pure the water you drink, without a pure soul, it will not taste good. Let me ask you, how clear is your soul? Are you weighed down by trouble at work? What about family problems? Is your consciousness troubled? If it is, then you may find that the water you drink tastes plain and dull. After you've enjoyed participating in a sport or other exercise, water, even just tap water, tastes delicious and refreshing. In other words, it's what's inside you that counts the most. I know it sounds like I'm saying that it's all in your mind, but what I'm actually trying to say is that when you drink water with a feeling of gratitude, the water itself is physically different than when you drank the same water with clouded feelings in your soul. Our emotions and feelings have an effect on the world moment by moment. If you send out words and images of creativity, then you will be contributing to the creation of a beautiful world. However, admitting messages of destruction you contribute to the destruction of the universe. If you become aware of this, you will no longer be able to speak words of anger to those around you, or blame others for your own mistakes and weaknesses. You have the capacity to change the world within a moment. All you must do is make a simple choice. Are you going to choose a world of love and gratitude, or a tortured world filled with discontent and impoverishment? The answer will depend on your attitude at this very moment. According to the teachings of Buddhism, everything in the world is constantly changing, and nothing ever changes. Speaking from the principle of vibration, the energy of vibration must go on forever in a continuous motion. Understanding that everything exists in this one moment will give hope and light to your life. You no longer need to be troubled by the past, and can know that the future can be anything that you will it to be. You, as you are, in this very moment, hold the key to everything. If you want to see how much of an impact your consciousness can have on the world, I suggest that you conduct a little experiment by playing a game we'll call cloud erasing. I want you to try to erase clouds using the power of your thoughts. On a particularly clear day, look up in the sky and target just one cloud, maybe one not too large. Your thoughts are very important in playing this game, and so it's important to believe that the cloud will disappear. But you shouldn't try too hard. Focusing too hard will actually have the effect of preventing your energy from being sent out. When you are ready, imagine an invisible beam of energy being sent from your consciousness toward the cloud, breaking it into pieces. See in your mind how the laser beam targets the entire cloud and not just one part. Then say, in the past tense, the cloud has disappeared. At the same time, say to the energy, again in the past tense, thank you for doing that. If you follow these steps, I'm sure that the cloud will start to thin out and disappear in a matter of minutes. As this shows, human consciousness can have an enormous impact on the world around us. Clouds consist of water in the gaseous state, and so it responds especially quickly to our will. Traditionally speaking, anyone who says that the consciousness has an effect on the physical world, ostracization from being unscientific. However, science has progressed to a point where the failure to understand consciousness and the mind limits our understanding of much of the world around us. Quantum mechanics. Certain psychological theories, such as the flow talked about by Jung and genetic engineering, have all taught us that there is a world other than the one we know so well. You can't see this other world with your eyes, and you can't touch it with your fingers. It's a world in which time itself does not exist. The famous quantum theorist David Bohm has called the world available to our senses the explicit order, and the existence within the implicit order. He envisions that everything that exists in the explicit order has been enfolded in the implicit order, and each part of the explicit order includes all the information of the implicit order. This may be difficult to understand, but what he is saying is that every part of the universe contains the information of all the parts of the universe. In other words, within an individual, and even within a single cell, exists all the information of the universe. The information of the universe includes time. In other words, the fact that you exist in the here and now is included in the information of the universe, along with all present, past, and future information. So, the changing of the entire world in a moment isn't just a fantasy. But let's think about this moment for a moment. How can we interpret it using physical science? David Bohm explained that an aspect of the universe within is projected into each moment in time, creating the present. The next moment in time is also a projection of a different aspect, and so on. In other words, with each moment, a different world is being shown to us. However, one momentary world will have an impact on the next momentary world, and so it appears to us as one continuous world. Based on this theory, the world is changing every moment and being created anew. Our consciousness has a role to play in this creation of the world. If you become aware of this, I suspect that your life will never be the same. I've talked about some complicated things and may have caused some confusion, but if we reconsider crystals, it will help to answer many questions. This world is changing moment by moment, and water is the first to recognize the change. I mentioned that I made a device for measuring vibration and used it to better understand water. On the afternoon of the invasion of Iraq, at the onset of the First Gulf War, I measured the vibration of tap water in Tokyo and found an unusually sharp increase in the values of vibrations produced by mercury, lead, aluminum, and other substances harmful to the human body. There seemed to be no apparent explanation for this. At first, I suspected that there was something wrong with my equipment, but repeated measurements indicated otherwise. It wasn't until the following day, when I read the newspaper, that I made the connection. News of the start of the Gulf War covered the front page. It's been said that the weight of the bombs dropped on this first day of war was equivalent to all the bombs dropped throughout the Vietnam War. In Japan, thousands of miles from the Middle East, I was able to measure the vibrations from harmful substances at almost the exact time that war broke out. You might ask, is this really possible? Of course, the harmful byproducts of the bombs in the Middle East weren't immediately transported to Japan. However, the harmful vibrations of the bombs being dropped on one side of the earth did reach the corners of the earth immediately. These vibrations spread out beyond the limits of time and space. I suspect that vibrations exist not in our three-dimensional world and not in the unseen world of a different dimension, but in a middle world. When something occurs on the earth, no matter what world, water is the first to detect it and relay this new information to us. At the time of the Gulf War, I hadn't yet started taking photographs of crystals. But if I had taken photographs, I'm sure they would have been very interesting. Let me give you one more example in which vibrations had an immediate impact on the physical world. In this case, the power of prayer was used to purify water. At Fujiwara Dam in central Japan, we had a Shinto priest of the Shigon sect named Huaki Kato repeat an incantation. When I first met him, he showed me 2 photographs that made a lasting impression, and so I wanted to see for myself what recorded in the photographs. One of the photographs had been taken before an incantation, and the other after. The second photograph showed a remarkable difference. The water was considerably clearer. The power of the incantation had come from the spirit of words, and so it is possible that this energy from the spirit of words had purified the water in the lake. In order to verify this, I wanted to take photographs of crystals formed from water before and after each incantation. The priest stood on the edge of the lake and performed the incantation for about an hour, all of which I videotaped. After the incantation, the priest and I conversed. Within 15 minutes, my crew called me over. This is incredible. The water is getting clear right in front of our eyes, someone said. And it was absolutely true. You could clearly see that the water was becoming more and more transparent as we looked at it. We were even able to make out the foliage at the bottom of the lake, which had been hidden by the cloudy water. We next took photographs of crystals. The crystals made with the water from before the incantation were distorted and looked like the face of someone in great, but the crystals from water after the incantation were complete and grand. Within one hexagonal shape, there was a smaller hexagonal shape, all enclosed by a halo-like pattern of light. Of course, it did take some time after the incantation for the water to become clear, indicating that changes in substances that can be seen with the naked eye are somewhat gradual. But there is no doubt that the vibrations of prayer are relayed to nearby objects in an immediate way, affecting the nearby water. This was a physical phenomenon that can't be explained unless we accept that another world exists within the one we call our own. But the story doesn't end there. A few days after this experiment, an incident was reported in the press. The body of a woman was found in the lake. And when I heard about this, I remembered the crystals created from the water before the prayer, and remembered how the crystals had looked like a face in agony. Perhaps through the crystals, the spirit of this woman was trying to tell us something. I would like to think that her suffering was alleviated in part by the incantation. There is another world in addition to the one we live in. When looking at our world from that world, we can see things that we cannot see now. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake of England is a researcher who focuses on furthering the understanding of a new worldview in association with this world that we cannot see. This is where we will end today's reading session from the book The Hidden Messages in Water by Dr. Emoto. If you love this book as much as we do, you can find it on Amazon. Thank you for taking this journey with us. Let us end today's session with the Grand Invocation in Japanese from Dr. Emoto, recorded in July of 2011. Let's end today's session with the Grand Invocation in Japanese from Dr. Emoto, recorded in July of 2011. The Grand Invocation meaning in English. The eternal power of the universe has gathered itself to create a world of true and grand harmony.
大単元宇宙の無限の 力が